my camera. Give me 1 second, guys. Where'd the camera go? Oh, that's why. Hey! Sorry about that. Welcome, everybody. Anthony here with the Bulbaritos, bringing you a brand new live stream, and my camera is completely twerked right now. There we go. There we go. We are excited to be bringing you a second live stream today.
What's going on, Bulba? You around?
Give me 1 second, buddy. I'm going to do the intro. Well, the surprise, the cat is out of the bag.
At least he's not deafened. So I absolutely know his chat is here. It's a little bit of a technical difficulty right there.
It's all right. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me see. All right. So the cat is out of the bag. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be doing our first dual cast ever in Osiris League. We are going to be joining forces with the always awesome, I absolutely love spending time with this dude, GEKKO Gaming. We are going to be casting over the MtO versus Snow match. For those of y'all, the intro, I'm going to do it fairly quick because we are pushing the line of the match already. If you haven't already, hop on the Discord. We will post links for that as well. Drop a like on these videos. We will be doing the Wheel of Failure. 20 likes will get our first spin. And guys, if you haven't already, sub to the channel. What the fuck are you waiting for? We're making moves, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be joining GEKKO Gaming to cast the MtO versus Snow match today. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all enjoy the stream. And yeah, let the party roll. All right, let me fire up this. We're going to switch game modes real quick. Scenes. Let's switch this guy up. Let's fire this up. Boom, boom. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are joined by the late, the great GEKKO Gaming. Those of y'all who already know, y'all know who he is already. So, welcome. How's it going, GEKKO? You doing all right, bud?
That kind of didn't work out the way we planned it, but hey.
Hey, it's all right. It's all right. Progress is progress.
Chat, listen, we literally decided on this 5 minutes ago. It was madness. Let us know in both streams if the sound is okay. And yeah, I was just telling my chat that you are a Rise of Kingdoms content creator who focuses on live streaming a lot. You've been doing a lot of Osiris League analysis, casts, and all that stuff. This wasn't the plan for me to cast match, but credit goes where credit is due. You've been following these teams much more than I have, and when you said this match is better, I mean, I don't have the cards to go up against you and you know,
hey,
have an argument.
I'm just a squirrel in your world, buddy. But yeah, I know most of y'all. I know
if you're the squirrel, I feel like I'm the nut.
I know most of the people in my chat already know who you are, but if you don't know who GEKKO Gaming is, what rock have you been sleeping under, ladies and gentlemen? He's an absolutely tremendous content creator. If you haven't checked him out, GEKKO, if you post your link for me, I can pull it up if I need to, but if you can post it, I don't know if you have my stream up. If not, I'll go pull it up, ladies and gentlemen. We'll post it. I'm also going to add it in our description after the stream. Absolutely phenomenal content creator. He covers a lot of stuff that I don't cover, guys. So when y'all are asking me for commander guides and updates in the game and all that kind of stuff, these, GEKKO is one of those top 2 guys that I'm always going to send y'all to, because he's in the know all, and I'm just out here trying to a blind squirrel trying to get a nut. So, you know what I mean? But ladies and gentlemen, if y'all haven't already, definitely go check out GEKKO Gaming. He's on. He already surpassed 30K subs. Let's get him to that 40K, 50K, pushing out here. So I look forward to our cast today, man. It's going to be an exciting one. MtO has some big boys. Usually what I try to do is I highlight both teams. So if you want to grab one team, I'll grab the other. And I usually click on the icons just to show the players. I know Ticklefist is a big boy in this match. And we're in. They're already open, so we're gonna hop in the match here in just a second.
Yes, sir. As we're done with our with a little bit of that little giving each other the compliments and all that early stage, that match is ready to rock and roll. There's 1 minute and 20 seconds until the gates of hell open up and the masses of marches come out here. Looking at SNO's side, it seems like folks are still porting in, which is okay. They still have 1 minute and 12 seconds to get themselves into the match. It is by no means a need to port instantly. For the record, quick tip, you want to make sure that your rally leaders and your garrison commanders are at the front row, so never just teleport in. make sure that your team first and foremost gets those important players to come in, and only after that the rest of the team comes in. You have 3 full minutes or 5 full minutes, 3 minutes to come into the match. There's no need to insta-port. Make sure that the top players, rally leaders, and garrisons teleport first, and only when they're ready and in that front row, the rest should come in.
Agreed. Ironically, we've seen a couple of teams that have actually done it the opposite, and I'm still trying to figure out why. But some of the big boy teams I've been seeing the ones that are going to be porting in first have actually been in the back row, and I'm not quite for certain why. MTO has it a lot of the times. Ticklefist is their big boy. So for those of y'all who are keeping an eye on who's going to be the big guy on MTO, Ticklefist is 100% going to be that guy. He's like Pork Chop and Eve. You have those names. Those names are going to be going out. Which side do you want to start on, GEKKO? You want to start on MTO or you want to start on Snow side?
I'm keeping my eyes on SNO right now, but as the gates opened up, I mean, the marches are starting to pour in by the masses. And what I'm looking at right now is, first of all, a full presence by the team in red. And not only that, they started launching only 2 rallies. Interestingly enough, the first team I see in a while launching only 2 rallies early on. How are things looking like on the blue side?
So MTO is actually launching they're launching 6 rallies on the blue side right now. So they are sending out, let me pull them out real quick. We got blue side, we got 2 obelisk. We got 2 going to out. We got 2. We got 3 going to outposts. We got outpost rallies. We got obelisk rallies. We got everything going on the side of blue side. So we got 2 obelisks for each side and 2 outposts on blue for rallies. So we got 6 rolling out right now.
Oh boy, it looks like the folks in blue are really looking to come out swinging fast. And they're also in the lead already, taking 2 of their outposts compared to the red one. At this point, it's not that big of a deal, right, Bulba? It's not crazy if you take an early lead, but it does give us a little bit of indication as to who had that first organization coming out of the gate and getting those initial buildings.
Yeah, what I'm looking for and what I look for, and y'all know who have watched my cast, BBTH, all those hyper aggressive teams. What you're looking forward to seeing is you're going to see one of 2 things. You're either going to see a full send forward to your enemy side with fast cav, or you're going to see infantry marches that are going to break off towards the enemy desert altar, and you're going to bring infantry. So you're going to be a little bit behind, but you're going to be a little bit more tanky. So it's interesting to see which side's going to bring which strategy on their respective sides.
Yes, sir. One of the things that you should know when it comes to timings of Ark of Osiris is that if you're sending that Charles Martel Theodora full garrison captain, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble, especially in that desert altar, because believe it or not, if you don't teleport to that front row, the desert altars open up before infantry make it onto the field. A lot of peeps have been using infantry rallies to get some infantry march speed in there so that those marches can get in. But if you're someone who's solo marching your way to a building, if you're not on that front row, you're going to be late for the desert altars. Now, again, it's not the craziest thing on earth. If your team can hold the fort for a few moments while you make it in, you're going to be about 15 seconds late with the garrison captain. I'm looking at Zev, top side, sneaking a fast cab march through a bunch of He's about to yoink an MtO obelisk.
Yep.
Is there a rally in here already? The rally is on its way.
Yep. MtO have 2 CC rallies that are rolling on both of their sides. They are following up with infantry on MtO side, so we're going to keep an eye on that.
Oh, thank the Lord for MtO. They did have 1 march sitting in there, and the attempt on a yoink by SNO was successfully stopped. That could have been a very big problem for the team in blue. Oh boy.
Yep. It's looking like it's gonna be a real it's gonna be a feisty match today, guys. We got 98 seconds before the desert altars open up. Our rallies are starting to roll in. Our fast cav on MtO. We have some Attilas rolling in on bottom side. Sir Tyrion rolling in. We got some cavs. They're gonna be pushing up. What we're looking for, guys, is on the break-off strats, are you going to be pushing forward with your rally, or are you going to be holding back and making sure that you get first occupation on your own structure? On BBTH, those kinds of alliances, they tend to push really far forward. So that's something to keep an eye on, guys. The rallies are rolling. If they're only on passes or only on structures, it's going to be a little hard to be taking enemy structures. So we're going to keep an eye on that.
Curiously enough, both teams are doing the same exact thing. They're piling up again around the Shrine of War. SNO has a huge presence around their own Shrine of War, and so do MTO. This is a little bit unconventional. Usually you see these solo marches push out. I believe the reason this is they're waiting for the rally to come to start launching, and then they want to move as a unit with the rally that's going to go towards the opposition's Desert Altar. The problem with that is that you can only launch a rally after the building is successfully opened and a first occupation by the other team happens, which means it looks like neither team is looking to aggress on the opposition's Desert Altar very early on, like in previous matches we've seen. By the looks of it, as soon as the map opens up entirely in about 12 seconds, everything is going to be evened out.
Yeah, and I just got a quick look. I was looking. It appears like you're talking correct on the altar side. They are playing fairly defensive. On the bottom side, though, we have MTO that are sneaking out the Shrine of War. They have a couple marches. Shrine of Life. Apologies. Shrine of Life tends to be that structure that if people are going to forget, it's going to be your Shrine of Life, guys. It happens all the time. If you're able to sneak out first occupation on these structures, it's a tremendous build on that. It looks like they're already pushing Snow out of that structure for Shrine of Life. So hopefully we'll come back to it in about 2 minutes, see if they capture it. And those are just extra points for them, guys. So it appears on the map that MTO have taken a steady lead. They're actually pulling the Sky Altar on the top side, GEKKO.
Yes, sir. They took the Sky Altar, and they're sending marches in here now, and Attila Takeda's about to go in there. But Attila Takeda was a little bit late, and the 2 marches that were in here have already taken a massive damage by the swarm of SNO. Even if this Attila Takeda by MTO takes now leadership of this building, there's still not going to be that much firepower for them to be able to hold it for that much longer. They did take a full minute away from SNO. They took a full minute away from SNO.
There you go, Bess. Turn it down for you, bud.
On the field right now, fighting in the field instead of getting in the building. A slight mistake, I believe, by the folks of MTO, as they did manage to take a building from SNO. SNO taking their building back, which is a good thing. They lost a minute worth of occupation, which will come and bite them in the butt in a form of 150 points per minute that they missed. And the Shrine of Life, however, seems to be very, very well secured by MTO at the bottom. If SNO don't take their own Shrine of War quickly, they're going to lose those 400 points of initial occupation.
Okay.
That's a little bit of a problem.
So what I'm seeing now and what it looks like Snow's going to be doing is it appears as if Snow is already trying to kind of maneuver themselves to start steadily moving towards the middle. The big deal between these two alliances, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen them before, is MTO and both MTO and Snow on their own respective sides have focused heavily on mid strat, on capturing arcs. They're very consistent about constantly sending marches to the middle. They're contesting arcs. They're doing all that kind of stuff. So it appears like we're going to start seeing some early movement in the middle here in a little bit. I know Snow was starting to move towards the middle. We'll keep an eye on that. We got 4.5 minutes. I suspect around the 3.5 mark, we'll already start seeing hordes of marches in the middle. In the middle is going to be where the jam is going to be taking place, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir. The problem with that strategy is the middle is great, but the middle comes by every few minutes, every 10 minutes or so, and it's a big boy fight. While that is going down, the points per minute mechanic keeps ticking, and it's great to have a good fight in the middle, but if you cannot hold at least your own side of the map, then fighting in the middle is going to be a very big problem. SNO have just completely given up on the building game early on. By the looks of it, I see a massive presence of them going towards the middle. 4 minutes remaining in the map until the arc pops. They haven't been able to secure their own Shrine of War of Life, and they're already 1,600 points behind. And this is a huge problem. They are 340 points per minute behind as well. And guess what, Bulba? There's 3.5 minutes-ish remaining until the arc comes up. Yep. Let's make it 5 or 6 minutes until they maybe manage to kill everything that's going to come to the middle. In that time, those 3,000 points that this arc is worth are going to be gained by the team in blue. So really, SNO are just going to be doing catch-up. But the problem is, once that middle is done, there's no buildings in the red side. And that's a huge problem. Shrine of Life Red Shrine of Life is still blue. It's been from the
Yep.
beginning. And now they're about to lose their Shrine of War. They
Now-
lose that middle fight is going to
Now,
suck.
something I'm watching right now for if you go mid, it appears that snow is going to be coming from the top side. So they're investing a lot in the middle. So for those of you who don't know, the first arc won't make or break the game. Okay, it's worth 3,000 points. I was corrected by my chat last stream. It's worth 3,000 points. So it isn't going to make or break the game. Now, what's important to understand is if you are going to invest a lot in the middle, you need to 100% either properly garrison your structures, or you need to be able to at least neutralize some of the enemy structures in order to negate that, because you are going to invest some in the middle, which means you're going to be you're divesting or not investing as much on the outside lanes, which is going to mean that you're going to probably lose some structures. Now, with your big boy teams like HKL, OV, they understand that. They invest a ton in the middle. But what separates them from the other teams is they're not just, if they're going to lose a structure on the outside, they're going to neutralize a structure as well. So they are negating that point difference while also capturing the arc, which then puts them still over the top. So that's what we're looking for here. Snow has heavy presence in the middle. They're doing the correct thing by posturing forward on the enemy side of the structure. I'm not saying that it's a win or lose.
Look at the Desert Altar. Look at the Desert Altar at the bottom, SNOs. It has a huge MTO presence. There's a rally about to smash into it. They started a swarm and almost didn't leave a spot for the rally to hit the building. They didn't even wait for the rally started marching around the building. Thank God they got it through. What they're going to do here is they're going to take a page out of the SNO book. They're about to murk this Desert Altar out of here. And there's so much open field presence, plus the rally marches in here, that they're going to come from the bottom, from the red side towards the middle.
Yep.
Look at Snow now realizing that's going on, and they're sending marches there, but too little, too late.
That's exactly what you want to do, though, and they're playing the smart strat. So what you should start seeing is this garrison is going to go down, guys. They're not sending them a bunch of reinforcements. So what you should see in the smart play would be to leave enough marches to knock that garrison, but save your troops and send them to the middle through the top side for MTO so that you can start the collapse. And that's what the HKL, what OV, what all these really, really strong teams do. They understand the concept of when the garrison is already going to get melted, there's no point in killing off a ton of troops. Save them, rotate them to the middle, and that is what it looks like MTO are going to start doing on the bottom side Desert Altar. They're going to start rotating. A couple of them are making a little mistake by running back. They should just kill them off in the middle. And it's forcing SNO in order to pull troops from the mid in order to come take the structure back, because that is the highest scoring structure in the Osiris League right now.
Make it worse for SNO because they lost their Shrine of War, and guess what? Them going from the top towards the middle doesn't mean that they can just return the arc to the top too. If they don't take a building on that top side, so for them to go backwards into that area, they're going to have to come by the blue team. And the blue team have established themselves massively in the Shrine of War and in the Desert Altar too, which means that this backstab theory by SNO ended up backstabbing themselves, because where are they going to go with this arc now? They could try to go backwards towards the blue outposts and try to get those, but then they're more moving even closer to the blue building, to the blue cities. The arc is quite literally marching backwards towards blue marches, and they're about to find all their middle strategy out the window. They're down one Desert Altar, which is 150 points per minute. They've already lost. I see a Zenobia on the building.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
A minute and a half.
Zenobia, that's our first Zenobia garrison that we've seen, ladies and gentlemen. Our first arc, we didn't see it. Zenobia on the MTO Desert Altar. So we're going to be checking those reports out here in a little bit, but it appears that MTO, or who is it? Oh, the arc is on the ground right now. Ideally, in a big boy arc, ladies and gentlemen, for those of y'all who've watched on your big boy arcs, all you're trying to do, guys, you're never going to clear the field out. So on the younger arcs, you will see that where they say focus, clear the field out, then run the arc. On big ones, you're just trying to inch it along, guys. You're just trying to caterpillar it down the field. You want to move it closer to your structures, make it further away for your enemies to grab it and have to run it to theirs. There are some unique strategies when it comes to that kind of stuff, but it appears that we have kind of an even blend between MTO and Snow, but because of the placement of the arc, it actually puts it more in favor of Snow than it does MTO. But keep in mind, guys, Snow invested a lot in the middle, and now you have MTO that are essentially stalling, waiting for more troops to come in, and they're arriving through the top side, wrapping around. So they're going to start bringing in more and more. So we'll keep our eyes on the structure games. It was looking like Christmas morning out here on the field. So we are going to check out some of the structures here in just a second, guys.
I don't know what you're looking at. I don't see the arc going anywhere near anywhere that is good for SNO. Now, my match started lagging like no one's business. I'm going to try to give it a quick reset and then done. I don't see this be going in favor of SNO at all. Yes, in theory, the arc is on their side of the map. But the time it's been taking them to get through and pull through this arc, their side, they got their Shrine of War back finally. They're starting to even up a little bit. But look at the points. They're down 3,300 points. By the time SNO will be done getting this arc, they're still going to be 300 points down, and they're still now a little bit less. They took their Desert Altar back, but they're still, what is it, 170 points per minute in deficit. Yep. So, I mean, even as this Desert Altar locks in, there's still going to be a fairly good amount of points behind. A very, very, very bad start for SNO. Yeah. I don't think that their investment in the middle paid off.
I would agree with that 100%. I think the only thing that's on the side of Snow is that the fact that the arc, hi baby, is that the arc is actually on their side of the map, which helps when it comes to reinforcing the mid, which is what you're looking for, and that's ultimately what I think. I understand it's going to take a hot second in order for them to capture this arc, but it appears that they have cleared out MTO. They're running this arc back. It's worth 3,000 points. They will still be down. I believe they're down by almost 2 to 1 on points per minute. So this will at least help to put a little band-aid on the bleeding and allow them to refocus. Oh, and I just saw on the map that appears Snow has taken the MTO obelisk on the top side.
Now that is how you disrupt the match. As we've been saying multiple times, that obelisk is crucial in the first 30 minutes of the match, primarily because it will take you 30 minutes plus 2 divine aids to get to the point where you have 30 teleports available for your whole team to teleport forward. And so losing an obelisk right now can be very problematic for MTO, because this will push back all of their teleports by as long as Snow have that building secured. That is a good counter for Snow to start trying to get back into this, but their strategy seems to be, as you mentioned, focusing a lot more into the middle, and MTO seem to be countering them very well. Even though both teams are heavy middle present, I mean, it doesn't look like MTO even cared for the middle. They keep taking that lead, and as long as this keeps going on, it'll keep favoring them.
Yeah, we got a couple of rallies coming in, guys, and bottom side on Sky Altar we have Snow sending their full sending rallies, swarming, doing the combo. What you're looking for, you really do, guys, you really do need that combo between the swarm and your rally. When you start inching along in top 32, top 16, you're going to start seeing those high octane plays. MTO's catching along, so they're sending more infantry to come and help. But it appears that Snow, it's going to be pretty close, but they had the garrison down pretty low. We're seeing Nameless sending more marches, so we're going to keep an eye on that structure. The arc appears they're doing some. Are they about to hold this arc? I still do not understand this. I still do not understand holding the arc. They're marching along, wasting a lot of time capturing this arc. So that'll be an interesting strat. This game is nowhere near being done, so holding arcs this early tends to bite those teams in the butt. So we're going to keep our eyes on. There's a ton of blinking structures. And yeah, we got an Alexander Garrison on MTO side on the top Desert Altar, which is always a lull in chat. So I know GEKKO will know more about garrisoning than I will.
I tend to disagree with you when it comes to holding arcs. I tend to disagree. Holding arcs is a viable strategy if you're investing the one march into it. And then, you're just trying to ensure that if you're gaining points, if you're already in the points per minute lead, holding an arc means that you're stopping the opposition from being able to gain those massive points, right? The problem for SNO is that they're just now 50 points ahead of the game. And so they're 4,000 points behind. This arc will not mean much to them. For them to hold onto this arc, it's just delaying their own main point gaining avenue, right? They have been mainly mid team, so why are you holding the arc? As you mentioned, holding an arc is only viable if you were the blue team in this scenario. Holding the arc is an amazing play because you're delaying the ability for the other team to make massive points to come back into it. At this stage, I don't really know, man.
Yeah,
I'm not impressed by SNO so far. We're 23 minutes into the match.
Yeah, and just like that, guys, look at the points per minute. We're evened out, or pretty close to being evened out, 560. And just like that, one of the structures from MtO, we just saw it tick off. So now they are down a little bit. They had neutralized the field for a little while, and we're scoring pretty much point for point. I never understand holding the first arc, guys. The first arc isn't a make or break arc. You're just trying to increase your point per lead. Your second arc usually tends to be a lot more aggressively fought after. So I can understand holding the second one. But this first one, I don't understand that, just because it doesn't benefit. By you holding it on the first arc, you're just helping the defense because you're allowing them to catch up. And then you're using it as a last resort just to give you the advantage, and that's not really what you're trying to do. The whole point of holding the arc is to either force aggressiveness out of your opponent because they know that they're going to be 3k down, or you're doing it in order to progress yourself further and increase your points per minute lead. So right now it's nowhere near that big. Red should be insta capturing this because I have a feeling Snow is going to need multiple arc captures in order to win this match. So all they're doing is they wasted an extra, I would say, about 5 to 6 minutes just running this thing around in circles. So it's benefiting MtO on that regard. So we'll keep an eye on it.
We gotta give credit. Gotta give credit where credit is due, right? Right now, the red team in Snow is 180 points per minute in the lead. That's a good lead to start with. They have that though because one building that is a blue building hasn't finished ticking off for them. Once they take their building back and reoccupy it in 2 minutes, we'll go back to 590. That is the middle point in Arc of Osiris. There's a total of 1,180 points on the map. So when you see a 590, it tends to be someone has their own buildings and either trying to capture a new one, or just one of the buildings is missing on either side. And in this case, MtO is missing their desert altar. Once they grab it, the match is going to get even. And once more, I mean, they will get the folks in red a nice little 360 points out of this whole scenario. But they were over 4,000 points behind. They're holding on to 3,000 points right now in terms of arc. So in theory, we're looking at 11,792 against 11,291. Only a 500 points per minute lead. SNO is starting to slowly creep back into this match. But if they're going to be depending on arcs to creep back into matches, one bad mistake in the middle and the match is over.
Yep. I totally agree with that 100%. I'm pretty sure my game just crashed. GG's in chat. So sweet. There were a couple of structures. I believe the desert altar was about to get captured in a minute. You can go ahead
While
and
you're reloading, I'm going to take over here and looking at the desert altar belonging to SNO in red. It's being massively swarmed. There is an Atel Takeda rally. Not looking too healthy, but Swarm here is looking very healthy. It includes another Atel Takeda and a couple of Garrison commanders already fighting here. I don't know if I'd like to see Garrison commanders swarming. I understand that Artemisia YSG can also be used as an offensive march, but you're really going to want to have that march garrisoning this building if the plan is to garrison with archers, of course, and you want to have it at the full peak of its health, or else you can find yourself at a point where in the middle of a fight, all of a sudden the march that's the garrison march runs out of troops and gets kicked out of the building, and you run out of a garrison.
All right,
however, it looks like they're looking to garrison with Richard, so things are looking good.
Real quick, before we hop into the match, I'm going to tell y'all the scores that I'm looking at. OV is actually down by 600 points right now. They're losing to SFS 12,100 to 11,500 right now. So yep. OV is down. P2OL is down, losing by 2K points to 411S. We have HKL dominating by 9,000 points over TN, 15K to 6K. 49F is narrowly losing to LIIG by 300 points. 411K is narrowly beating by, 100 points over SX54. And Raz is beating out TZA by 6,000 points right now. And MtO, we're already casting that one. Navi is losing by 5,000 points to BBTH, and 411K is winning by 6,000 over TTF.
Yes, sir. We knew that OV were gonna have a tough match. A couple people in the chat also told us that this match is not gonna be as one-sided as it seems. All I gotta say, my friend Bulba, is I feel like I need to change my Discord name to GEKKO I Told You So Gaming. I'm just gonna throw that out there after your rant yesterday on stream. My man calling PTOL to beat JWM. Well, if PTOL don't beat 411S, they won't even get a shot at it.
There's potential for ties out there, so it makes it a lot more murky than what it should be. So that may be one of our potential groups that may end up 2-2-2 across the board, which is where you do not want to be, guys, because then it comes down to the amount of points, the total amount of points that you scored in your matches, and the top two get through and the other one falls out. So we're gonna have to keep an eye on that.
But we're gonna keep ourselves focused on this match right now and let you guys know what's going on in the other ones. If we see that this match starts getting out of hand, 31 minutes, it's not out of hand by any means whatsoever. But if it starts getting out of hand, there is a lot of action happening across the board. And man, if there might be a crazy upset in the OV department. Where are my Oryx when I need them? Lord, and oh my lordy,
getting spicy out here.
Yes, sir. Just to give you a little bit of context, our friends here in the community saw a 3-to-1 ratio for OV against SFS. So whoever bet on SFS, boy, you guys are gonna get a lot of coins.
Yeah, they're about to be bringing them in by the truckload. So I had my hopes and dreams on XX54. That was the team that I called out this week. And so we're gonna keep an eye on that, guys. If we move over, we'll move over.
Look at MtO real quick. Oh my lordy, they took the obelisk out. They're about to take out the arc carrier. He's trying to mark back the obelisk. If this arc goes down and they take it into their own the SNO obelisk, this could be the craziest MtO play ever. This guy needs to get into his own city, but he's nowhere near his own city. Where can he go? He's trying to run away. No one is helping him.
Dude, the marches are coming in. The dead marches are coming in. Oh.
Okay. He secured it in his friend's city.
He secured it in his friend's city. Yep. But still, look at the points per minute, guys. They held on, and now they're still down. They're still down. That's the whole reason. You just wasted almost 7 minutes running that arc. Another arc would have already been spawned right now, and you dominated the middle the last time. You should have captured it, because now you're still down. You have no safety net in to catch you now. Now you are forced to invest again in the middle. So that's going to be a big boo-boo. I think we're going to come back and see that in the future. It's going to come bite them in the rear.
So this is a great time to talk about something I mentioned last stream, which is all about the strategy. What happens when your strategy goes out the window? It looks to me like SNO's strategy is slightly going out the window. They seem to be on their back foot consistently, and it's not that they're out of this or they're gonna lose this, but they do seem to have to either readjust or make a few changes on the fly in order to secure themselves a better match. This is the next level of Osiris League. The teams that will be able to adapt on the fly their strategy in order to obtain a better success. At the end of the day, I don't think SNO saw this coming. I don't think SNO planned for this to end up this way. And now they got to figure out how they're gonna fix this. You know what the problem here is, Bulba?
What's up?
They're down 370 points per minute, and the arc comes in 6 minutes, which means 1,800 extra points at least are coming into the blue side before an arc even pops. 3,500 point arc. These guys are already 1,500 points behind. Even if they just straight march it, they'll be able to, at best, even out the match.
Yep.
And so this is starting to be very, very problematic for the folks in SN.
And for those of y'all, I did get a question in the chat. What happens in the event of a tie in Osiris League? Who wins? So if you end up in a group that has 2-2-2 and then 0, what ends up coming in is they tally up the total points that you scored in your 3 matches, and whoever the top 2 teams that have the most points overall in those matches will advance forward.
I'm not so sure if it's the total points, by the way, or if it's the difference in points.
Oh, difference in points per the match. Okay. So we'll find that one out for you guys, and we'll let y'all know.
I'm fairly confident it's the difference.
It's
in
a
the
difference.
matches.
Okay. So then that will benefit the teams that were dominating their first couple of matches. These tight ones are going to be real tight, but we're going to keep an eye on it. Now, if y'all can see what GEKKO was talking about, we're already looking at a 2K point difference right now. What he was doing the math for all that stuff, it's going to start showing up, guys. So what this is going to mean is Snow's going to have to, they're going to have to invest a lot in the middle in order to capture this arc. But also, that being said, that means that they're most likely going to be losing structures and points per minute in order to actually put an attempt, a really good attempt at the middle. So that's going to be something that we're going to have to keep an eye on. Fairly certain in the next about minute and a half, 2 minutes, you're going to start seeing blinking structures all over the map, and that's when all the marches should be going to the middle. And we're gonna keep an eye on it, guys.
Absolutely, and I have a very slight feeling. We're gonna end up squeezing into that OV match momentarily in a few, not right now, but in a couple of minutes or so. If we see this thing evening out, because let me tell you this. I love my shout out to my boys in OV, but seeing them take an L in groups of the playoffs is something we don't see that often.
Yep.
And it goes back to that conversation of, you know, all these big teams, season by season, things changed, right? You know, you can't know what the team is going through. You can't know which players are still in, still out, what happened. And you can't take them for face value based on their last season.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
I think what's going to be interesting to pay attention to, and I know a lot of people are bringing it up, is the fact that KVK and Osiris League overlap. So that becomes a topic of conversation for another day. But I am interested to hear, you know, other people's opinions on how they think it's affecting Osiris League, because I've already seen a couple of teams that have taken a massive hit from it. Not to take anything away from people, but it has an effect, man. You're losing a ton of troops. You're forced to heal or forced to train millions of troops just for a new match. So it'll be interesting to keep our eyes on, guys. I know GEKKO would know that more firsthand because he was in KVK when Osiris League started, and we are just we're just starting into our KVK, so we haven't actually started fighting. So it'll be interesting if Navi makes it through to keep an eye on how it affects our team, because once we get into Kingsland, if we make it deep enough, we could be in Kingsland at the same time as top 8 if we make it that far. So that'll be something to keep an eye on.
Yes, sir. Now, looking back at this match, the points per minute kind of evened out. Good for folks of Snow to start to try to take over this points per minute game, but they only have 25 minutes remaining. There's 2,800 points in the lead for the team in blue, and they're still 30 points ahead per minute, which is a nice little number. They are, however, the first ones to be present in the middle. The folks in SNO trying to defend their own Shrine of War for dear life. They know that building is so important as the middle fight is about to go down.
Yep.
But here's the thing. We've seen this movie before.
Yep.
We've seen SNO posture towards the middle, take that arc, but lose the buildings in the process. And this is going to be relentless. At this stage, I'll tell you this. If this continues the way it is, provisions will most likely determine this match. And not because of anything but the fact that SNO just keep getting points from the middle and not letting MtO run away with it too much. But at the same time, MtO continually keep being a pain in the butt to SNO. I don't know what this middle fight is going to look like. There's a massive presence coming everywhere and all over the place. But for MtO, the plan, if you ask me, is straight up delay, and pull as much of SNO into the middle. Because if they can get to that point where they're like 710 points per minute ahead compared to the 200 points like it was earlier, all of these arcs will mean pretty much nothing.
Yep. So if you're on the MtO side, guys, the name of the game, guys, is you just want to make this arc be the longest arc possible. Even if you don't capture it, you're in the lead by what, 3K points. You just want to make this last as long to where there is no opportunity for another arc. Okay. You're trying to stall, and that's just my opinion. But you're at 3K. There's only 23 minutes left in the match. If you can stall this for another 10 minutes and just Russell, there's just keep your points, neutralize structures, and that's the name of the game.
SNO is not going to let that happen. They saw William on the field. They're like, screw this, aggression on. Yep. And they just swarmed that William, a very, very, very important target to get rid of in the middle early on. Snow really going on the aggression here very early in this. Instead of waiting for the arc, kind of like MtO did, it seems like Snow were like 3, 2, 1, push, and they caught MtO completely off guard. All I'm seeing is frowny faces, blue frowny faces leaving the middle, and a ton of red. But look at the buildings. Shrine of War goes down. Desert Altar goes down. All the buildings again turning blue, and now these marches are coming in from the back to come play and have some fun.
Yep.
On top of all of this, SNO already used their skills in the middle. So momentarily they'll run out, and the folks in SNO can pop their own. They're down 10% attack and defense, which is going to be a very, very big problem. And to make matters worse, every single building is blinking. The red team did, however, take away a blue Desert Altar for a full minute, which is a good thing for them, but they instantly lost it back. And I mean, if the map is going to turn all blue again,
yep,
Lord have mercy on SNO.
It's about to. And they just took, MtO just took back their Desert Altar.
And they have the arc too?
Yep.
They dropped the arc first?
They're doing the combo.
Oh,
doing the
Lord.
combo. They're trying to book it. I always say, guys, for those of y'all who've jumped on our stream, they're trying to run it like a fat man at a buffet. You were just trying to book it as fat. If you've never seen it, then I will post it. You're just trying to book it as fast as you can. It appears like Snow is starting to clear out more and more of MtO in the middle. They are progressively moving the arc to their side of the map. But like I said, guys, MtO's job here is just to delay the arc. Just keep constantly focusing on the arc. For those of y'all who don't know, one of their few past updates, they made it. It used to be really hard to select the arc carrier. Now all you got to do is click this icon, click on the little character that pops up, and you can instantly target that arc carrier. But this arc carrier just okay, so they just got taken out. It reset the timer. And if you're MtO, you're trying to send some rallies across the map. You're trying to do whatever it takes to delay this arc capture, because at the same time, guys, this arc is worth 3,500 points. They're up by over 4,000 points. Because they're up 140 points per minute. They just lost another one, so 110 points per minute, which will start to, stack as we progress through the match.
Yes, sir. Red building is blinking everywhere, but so is the blue sky altar. That one is actually a dangerous one. The MtO team need to make sure that stays secured, because that's ticking for points for them right now. It's more important to hold on to buildings that are ticking for points for you than to go and try to regain a building that is not ticking for points for you. For example, a building that you're still in the process of occupying. If you have to choose between one that gives...
I see y'all in chat, boys. I love y'all. I just want to make sure we do this cast justice. But I do see y'all's comments, guys. Thank you.
It as close as they can. They took an obelisk at the top, but 20 minutes remaining. This is completely useless. The folks in blue have 5 teleports remaining. If we go take a quick peek at their starting zone, I see only 2 blue cities sitting there in the starting zone. And if we go take a peek at Snow, we see 1 city. Very, very good. So at this point, those obelisks are completely meaningless. There are 20 points per minute is nice, but it's not something to go, send all your marbles towards that obelisk like in the beginning of the match. Snow are moving this arc, but MtO just keep targeting that arc carrier and delaying. As you mentioned, they're 4,400 points up. This is the second arc. So they're going to get out of this 1,000 points behind. And MtO are going to need to be gathering like crazy. And so I hope SNO should. And while you give us a little bit of analysis on what else you're seeing around here, I'm going to move around and go look if I see some gatherers, and I'll let you know what I see.
Okay. So guys, what we're keeping our eyes out for is the situation that GEKKO brought up in his video. You're in that pickle right now where this is a very finicky time where either one, you got to do one of 2 things. You got to make a decision. You got to stick with it as well. One, if you are Snow, do you invest more troops into absolutely capturing this arc, with keeping in mind that you are sacrificing your structures, your points per minute? You are still down by now. You are 210 points down per minute. Is the arc worth that? Okay. You either invest heavily in the middle, which I personally don't believe you should. I believe that you should be sending what you're sending, and then you need to start neutralizing the enemy structures, because that points per minute is going to start stacking so much that when you capture this arc, you're still going to be down. So you have to neutralize structures, guys. So that ultimate decision that GEKKO and BNW had to make, where do we invest really heavy in the middle, or do we stick on the outside and start neutralizing and taking structures to try to increase our points per minute lead? That is a situation right now that they're having, and it's actually ironic that it's happening 18 minutes before the match is going to end, but that's how critical this arc is. So you're having to game plan between deciding whether you're going to invest really heavy in the middle or stick to the outside. I think Snow is investing a lot to capture this arc, and I think it's the wrong play. You know, I know that I see some structures getting blinked. They did take the obelisk on the top side for Snow, but we're going to keep our eyes out, guys. So I know we're going to go back to GEKKO, so they did have a CC in it, so it's going to go down fairly quickly.
Yes, sir. I saw more gatherers right now, more provisioners in SNO's department than MTO. MTO got to keep their eye on this because this could be a very problematic situation. For those of you not realizing why we were looking around the random empty places in the map, we were looking for provisioners to see who is provisioning and where. SNO had about 5 to 6 provisioning marches, while MTO only had the one that I saw. For the first time in a long time, SNO have taken over the map, and they've taken over the points per minute game, 200 points per minute in their favor. This is what they needed. I will tell you this. It looks to me at this stage that MTO ran out of gas. Something happened in the MTO department. And this is where, if you are on the field, if you've played the Osiris League at the highest of levels and you've seen this happen, you can understand that this is not necessarily SNO's strategy finally paying off. This looks more like MTO dropping the ball. And it can be a variety of different things, from someone who set a wrong rally to potentially a rally that didn't fill because of lack of communication, to even nervousness of someone yelling in the voice chat while it might have not been ideal. All of these things really affect the gameplay, and the problem with Ark of Osiris, and really in this type of game mode, unlike, for example, different sports, we talked about it yesterday on stream, it's on your stream, Bulba, is that in regular sports you have one ball, and so players go around the ball, right?
Yep.
If you're not around the ball, you're not active in the current situation. But in Ark of Osiris, all 30 players are doing something at the same time. You can be killing it in your lane, but the other 2 lanes might be messing up and you'll lose the game. And so all that it takes here is a little bit of a slip up, which MTO seem to have had. It looks like they're pulling their stuff together and they managed to stop the bleeding, but they are losing 200. The red team is closing the gap by 200 points every single minute, and they now have the arc as well. Yep. This is starting to get dangerous.
Yeah, and this is okay. So for those of y'all who didn't know, I found out last match how Snow ended up sneaking the match out against TTF. So essentially, what they did the last I believe it was 6-7 minutes, they completely pulled their mid team, and they told them to send 3 marches to gather for the last 6 minutes. Just keep bouncing off all the nodes, send 3 marches from the mid team to go gather. And that's ultimately what did it. They neutralized the structures within the time frame, so that even the enemy, if they recaptured their structure, they wouldn't get any ticks on the building. But then they brought their gatherers in, and that is ultimately what ticked them over to win the extra 10 seconds, or to win by 10. So right now, it appears that Snow is trying to do a similar concept. They are taking the lead by 200. Ooh, it increased now. 280 points per minute. You got 14 minutes left, and they control the arc. Keep in mind, guys, this is a 3,500 point arc. This will pull them very, very close. It's not going to tie it completely up, but it's going to pull them within shooting range of taking the win.
Yes, sir. At 180 points per minute in the favor of the red team right now. I think you should maybe put your drink down, my friend Bulba. 590 minus 410. I don't know how you got to.
Well, it just went up. It just went up. It just went up. All right, chat, back me up. Chat, back me up.
Anyway, we gotta add a little bit of that humor. Listen, I see a lot of snow marches doing a lot of nothingness right now. What you're saying makes a lot of sense if they start going for provisioners. Here's the pickle. With 13 minutes remaining, right now, losing a building means that you might potentially not get points from that building again. Remind you, it takes 3 minutes worth of occupation until a building hits its points per minute ticking capabilities. that was the worst way I could have said it, but I hope you guys got me. If, for example, this bottom Desert Altar by SNO goes down towards MTO right now, this is going to probably not even get recaptured for SNO in time. And so in this final stretch, you really want to be protecting those buildings that are ticking for points for you, because you probably will not have the opportunity to regain them back. Now, we did this earlier. Actually, you did this earlier, but we got to let the peeps who are watching the stream with us know what is going down in the rest of the matches. So a real quick update for those of you out there. OV losing by 7,000 points right now against SFS. P-Toll losing by 7,000 points to 411S. TN, good try, but they're 20,000 points behind the HKL. I mean, okay. LIIG up 4,000 points against 49F. Everybody went all in LIIG because 349 had a civil war going on. We'll cover that civil war in the Tuesday video on my channel, by the way. But 49F protected their Osiris League players, and that civil war didn't affect them whatsoever. And all of you who bet on LIIG, oh lordy, on top of that squad beating SX54 by 5,000 points. Raise, yes sir. Raise, for the record, Bulba, I really would like you to change your name to Bulba. I told you so, Ritos, please and thank you. Raise beating TZA by 12,000 points. You were right, this is the better match to watch. We're watching this match. Navi down by 13,000 points to BBTH. And believe it or not, 411K is beating the folks of TTF, but only by 11,000 points. That's a surprise right there.
Well, I did hear from Little Birdies that 411K is going to be suffering from commander deficit. Here's fair enough. Regardless of whether they had the JWM, I know people were telling me that, but I did hear from a mutual friend that 411K, they were talking to some of the higher ups and they're missing a bunch of commanders. So it's, I don't know if that's going to play a deal. They do have phenomenal teamwork, so that makes up for a lot, but they are missing, I believe, 2 of the top ones that a lot of people keep using, and they have nobody that has them. So that's
SNO with a Herman under Skyhawker as the captain. Lord have mercy on those troops in that building being led by a Herman. Oh my lordy. I do want to take a quick peek. Have you looked at the Zenobia report yet? Because I cannot see reports on building.
It's a bug. I can't see reports. So.
Yeah, I don't think we can see reports, unfortunately. So hope and pray we could at some point, because that's Zenobia. I'm interested to know how expertise is she, if at all. My game just crashed. So Bulba, how about you take control here while I relaunch? All right.
Well, guys, once again, Snow is holding on to the arc again. I have a feeling they're just going to hold it down to the last second. They are losing, and I will pull up the big screen. That way y'all don't accuse me of drunken stupidness. I'm just kidding with y'all. They are up by 110 points. Calculator, in chat, 110 points per minute. We got 10 minutes left in the match. MTO is in the lead. It makes no sense why you're holding on to it. Even if you captured it right now, guys. Right now, there's 9.5 minutes left. There's a 7-minute timer. Just capture it. You're wasting a march that you could then have on the field. I've never quite understood this. Keep it close enough to where you can do it. My audio went out on the match, so that's sweet. Sky Altar just got the rally against it on Snow side got obliterated against MTO. We're looking at structures. There's nothing going on the structures. We're going to flip-flop between all the structures to see what's going on. And I believe everybody on the MTO side is just trying to secure their structures. They're parking all their marches around them to make sure and ensure that they don't lose their points per minute lead as it continues just to keep ticking. So if you're in the points per minute lead and you are in the lead by over 4,000 points, all you got to do is just secure your stuff, keep applying some pressure, send some marches, some rallies forward facing, and keep your enemy on their back foot, because that will be the last arc that they capture. It comes down to provisions and who's going to neutralize structures within the last couple of minutes to negate a lot of points per minute on their enemy. So we're going to keep an eye on that.
We're back into the action. By the looks of it, the Shrine of Life down below went to MTO. Bad news for SNO. They seem to be potentially able to take it back, but they're going to lose a tremendous amount of time of points per minute, which went towards MTO. That's how they are now 130 points per minute in the lead.
Boom Raver, welcome to the Bulbaritos. You are now a part of the sexiest motherfucking community in Rise of Kingdoms. Welcome. Enjoy your stay.
Both triggered like 6-7 seconds difference between the two. There's a massive aggression coming up into this desert altar, and SNO have to hold for dear life. They have to hold all their points per minute buildings right now, because if they lose them, this is gonna be a really, really tough thing. The arc was delivered. The difference is 1,000 points between these two teams. In the comments on both chats right now, 7 minutes remaining. Who do you think is gonna win this, MtO or SNO? This match is wide open, and now we're going down to one thing, my favorite thing that everybody doesn't care about in Arc Decided to win matches. It is called Provision.
Yep, and just like that, guys, I told y'all when I called this, when I told y'all I wanted to cast this match was going to be really tight, but I had MtO narrowly sneaking it out, and it was just based on provisions. Ironically, I thought MtO would actually capture an arc, but they didn't. So this will be an interesting thing to keep an eye on. The name of the game right now, ladies and gentlemen, with 7 minutes left, is you want to neutralize your enemy's structures. That's what you're trying to do.
Look at the top.
Oh no! The map.
SNO, homies. 210 points, 6 minutes remaining. That's 1,200 points in the favor of blue. Oh boy, oh boy. And the obelisk goes down to, Bulba.
Yep.
I'm scared. A lot of my chat says SNO or MtO are going to win this. We had one Go Rose in the chat. Irish, you should probably not drink that Irish coffee no more. You should probably go back to the regular coffee, because I don't see a rose on the map. I honestly, at this stage, ladies and gentlemen, all I got to say, quite literally, is sit back. I'm going to do this too. Put your feet up on something comfortable and enjoy the cast. There's absolutely nothing we can say anymore that will give you any extra insight into this, because at this stage, everything was said. Buildings need to be secured, and provisioners need to start coming in. 1,500 points worth of a difference. I recommend you all to stop looking at the center of the screen. Keep your eyes on the top, as we will be doing the same, because points are going to start flying up when provisioners come in. And SNO might be behind, 1,500 points, but they can instantly get up to 3,000 point lead if they have enough provisioners out.
Now, keep in mind, I'm looking on two sides of the map. On the bottom side, Snow Desert Altar, look at this mass horde of troops. They are just pouring it, trying to neutralize all these structures, trying to prevent MtO from taking it. And as we move over to the MtO Sky Altar, you're going to see the Khan rally coming in, which is very interesting. Coming in, Snow knows, and they're trying to get these, because those last couple of ticks, guys, are very, very important. So we're going to... Go ahead.
Listen, MtO are doing a massive play. They found a gatherer. They are going out to the back. Kurt, whatever the heck his name is in the back of SNO trying to kill provisioners. Now, granted, if he kills the provisioner on the tile, then those provisions, all the provisions on that march are gone. He is disrupting the gathering of 2 marches of SNO, and while that's going down, the MtO reinforced massively their gathering as well. I love this play. He made a slight mistake by targeting a tile from very far, which indicates to this person that someone's coming for them. But Mazako right here with 2 provisioners is not going to be provisioning anymore. He's now trying to run away from this march, trying to get to him. And if his city is not nowhere near, I mean, he's gonna lose a bunch of people.
Yep. And just like that, look at the bottom side obelisk, MtO in there with their Wuzetion, and nobody's ready to port. We've seen this. I know it's super late in the match, guys, but for those of y'all who are watching, we've seen so many obelisks that get taken and unoccupied, and nobody is ready to port forward. This is one of those things that you would see Ticklefist port forward and just absolutely wreak havoc at 200 mil, 300 mil power. It's one of those things that has to get looked at by those teams. Because these kinds of plays are what decide your matches later on in the season. And it's one of those, we got skills getting popped on the top side. So we're going to flip over to that. That's where Snow is pushing aggressively up to forward face on that structure. So we're going to keep an eye on it. We got 3.5 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen. The provisions should be pouring in nearly. They're going to be coming in, guys.
Yep, any moment. And just a quick final update throughout the match. We'll look at the final scores at the end. But right now, with 3 minutes remaining, Overlord's OV down by 11,000 points. MtO down by 15,000 points. 411S taking them. And SFS taking OV down. HKL already won this match against TN. 49F losing it to LIIG by 9,000 points. LIIG made a comeback into this one, which is a good move by them. I mean, LIIG doing their thing. They are a wild horse in this season, and I have a feeling we got to keep an eye on them more often. Raze most likely beat TZA. We're watching this match. Navi is going down by 12,000 points to BBTH. Did Navi win their last match?
They did. They beat them. They beat Eve, and they beat them, I believe, by I think it was like 7,000 or 8,000 points.
So they're 1-1. So we should still be okay for them. And 411K just doing their thing, and they're gaining a higher gap. Look at the points in here, though. 3,000 points in the favor of the blue team. They're starting to pour provisioners in. I don't see a single provisioning tile that is not being gathered right now by the blue team. They know that they need to provision like no one's business. They're not letting go of their buildings. They own all of their buildings, but they did stop the aggression on their enemies' buildings, which they've been doing most of the match. And now, Snow are trying to take these altars away from them, but those YSS defenses seem to be holding very, very well. 3,000 point lead for the team in blue, and they still have provisioners out. S&O. Oh boy.
Now keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, if you are provisioning, keep in mind you have to bring your provisioners back into your city in order for those points to be tabulated. If you don't make it back into your city, all those points were for naught. You don't get any sort of score. So if you're a provisioner, you should already start bringing in, if you haven't ported forward, or if you haven't ported forward, you should already be sending them back to your city to bring it close. And just like that, look at the provision score. They are up. Whoo, look at that. We are in it, ladies and gentlemen.
We're in the provisions war right now. We're in the provisions war. Look at the gain. Oh, Lord, and here comes Snow. Snow taking a 1,500 point lead in provisions, but fear not. Blue marches are coming in with provisions too.
Yep.
Oh,
they're pouring in, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
1,200 point difference for the Red team. Oh, Lordy, I can't watch.
47 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, coming down to the wire. What are we looking at, ladies and gentlemen? 1K difference, moving it over. The provisions are coming in. We got Osho on the bottom side coming in. Oh, and he didn't gather as much. We're still up by 1K on Snow with 25 seconds left. Oof.
This number's going down. MtO are coming back.
They took the lead. 100 points, 17 seconds.
Oh boy, you're ahead of me. Oh my goodness.
Here we go. Oh no. Let's count it down, ladies and gentlemen. 5, 4, up by 200 points. 2,000 score of provisions.
2,000 points, and there it is.
Oh no. Snow do it again. They narrowly sneaking out.
Oh. Oh my Lord.
I told you it was going to be a good one. I told you. Oh, man.
Oh my Lord.
Tickle fist out here.
No.
I'm telling you, they're flying by the seeds of their pants. This is the second week they've won.
S&O are literally hanging by the skin on their teeth. Oh my Lordy, if they take a team that's a little bit more middle heavy, they are screwed. Holy Lord, this was crazy.
Yep. Oh, and we moved on. Congratulations to Tickle Fist taking the #1 scoring player in the match. We're going to break down the match stats. I have them open right here. That way y'all can kind of see the breakdown of what it came to. I think for the most part, we kind of understand what it was. It comes down to the minute details, guys, the minute details. So we have 2 arc captures on the side of Snow, and they took two is fairly long. The occupation score, I know GEKKO was talking about the trading back and forth between those two.
Yes, sir. It was a trading back and forth, but MtO have a solid lead. As a matter of fact, MTO almost outperformed in occupation all of the provisioning plus arc captures plus occupation. If you take a quick peek, the folks in red only were up by 100 points if you sum up their capture plus occupation compared to the occupation of MTO. MTO had millions more 11 million more kills than the folks in red. And look at the healing. That scares me, because 10 million heals at a second week of group stage means that these guys are going to be healing a substantial amount every single match. I don't know how long that's sustainable. How many people have that many healing speed-ups to keep doing this every single match? Boy, oh boy, this was crazy.
I'm gonna send you something real quick, Gecko. That way you can show it to your stream as well. Give me 1 second. I'm about to show you. I just send you a screenshot. So yeah, dude, the heals. I really suspect you're gonna start seeing this because of the way the meta has shifted. In Osiris League Season 3, it's become very dominant on swarming and rallies, and it's only going to get worse. So you're going to start to see even the big boy teams are going to start having to heal. So it's one of those guys, we're going to keep an eye on it. But with the new commanders coming out, all these things, a lot of these things are going to be switching back and forth. So I do suspect that we're going to start seeing, the further we get in, we're going to start seeing 15, 20 million T5s having to get healed. And it's going to be an absolute bloodbath. To continue downwards, teleports 30 to 29. What that tells you guys, for those of y'all watching, is that means that they optimize their porting so that they got almost their entire team forward, which is ideally what you want. Because if you're stuck in the starting zone, guys, it's a long trek in order to march back. So being able to port forward and be the provisioners helps tremendously, especially on those big boy teams. When you're having to provision, 8 to 9K provisions, it's absolutely insane. So being able to port forward is important. The Arc of Osiris captures 2-0. I think they made this match a little closer than it should have been. I confidently believe that Snow would have run all 3 arcs themselves if they wouldn't have held on for as long as they did. They did kill about 10 to 12 minutes holding those arcs, which is, it could have come to bite them in the rear. They just out provisioned, and they really laid it on. Without those arcs, they would have been up a creek without a paddle, guys. So just to let y'all know, guys, and I'll let GEKKO start it off. I sent him a screenshot that I was just sent for the Navi versus Navi versus Eve match from last week, so that y'all can see what the score was. And I'm gonna try to see later on if I can do it. That way he can post it in his Discord as well. If I can get the
last week. I mean, we can see last week's in the results, right?
Oh well, not the breakdown of the match. So that's why I sent it to you. That way you were asking about Navi, what the point difference was. They did end up losing, dropping down from BBTH. So we'll keep in consideration. But those were the heals again. Eve having a really tough KVK. I know GEKKO casted a little bit of that as well, so you see that in there as well. But BBTH not letting up, guys. I'm telling you, they are the team. They're one of the very few teams, and I know GEKKO and I go back and forth about it. There are very few teams that I see have potential. I'm not saying they're going to outright beat people out. They're one of the very few teams that I could see potentially beating HKL. HKL is a whole other animal. But
so if you ask me which team this season has improved it to the point where they're like a dangerous team, I would definitely agree with you that BBTH is there. I don't give credit before I see results, and I see results by BBTH, don't get me wrong, but I don't see I haven't seen them going up against a team that I know that are getting close to the caliber of HKL, for example. If you told me that BBTH beat last season's OV right now, for example, then I would be like, all right, well, these guys are dangerous stuff.
Yeah.
But at this point, I have yet to see them go up against a team that is actually like a proper challenge. Navi is one of those, but Navi again is like a dark horse this season, and so I cannot give that credit yet to BBTH. For the record, I do think that BBTH have potential to win this season. Out of all the new teams that came in that are not the OVs, HKLs, 411K, JWM, that we know consistently come out to the playoffs, these are the guys that I can say that BBTH are one of them that I consider a potential dark horse. And believe it or not, Rose are also looking insanely good. I have on my screen right now the rest of the matches. Let's break really quickly down the scores of whatever happened in the rest of these matches.
We're
Ovi lost.
real quickly before we go through that, guys. The storyline for next week, guys. Keep it in mind. The massive potential for there to be a 3-way tie in Group D. We predicted it. I called it. But there is a massive potential with Rose winning today and Navi losing. There's huge potential upset that could happen that could force a 3-way tie in Group D. So keep that in mind.
Sir. Yes, sir. I agree. OV lost. 12,000 point loss. A very, very tough one to a team that is a little bit underpowered compared to them. PTAL also down by 14,000 points. HKL with their victory. LIIG did their thing. Thankfully for the folks who still bet on LIIG as there was a civil war in 49, it worked out for them. I don't think that civil war affected this. I still think LIIG would have taken this match. I just think that civil war definitely affected the odds and the gambling. The folks of 341, the squad won by 8,000 points against SX54. Rays with a 12,000 point victory against TZA. We watched Snow squeeze by with 1,300 points. And BBTH winning by 14,000 points against Navi. Finally, 411K up by 18,000 points. And what can be said? One more match remaining, the 7 p.m. match. I'm assuming everybody and their grandma and their cats and their dogs and even their neighbors are going to be casting this one match because, hey, everybody has who's the only match remaining.
It's only one.
Any final thoughts, Bulba?
SFS opened my eyes this week, guys. Like that out of all the matches that I saw, Snow is riding a fine line, but they're riding that line into the top 16, guys. So, it's one of those. SFS though coming out hot. We're gonna, when we do our breakdown show later in the week, that completely reworks the potential brackets that we could be seeing, guys. And it's kind of scary because I haven't casted a single SFS match, and they are coming out hot out the gates, beating OV, who were in the top 4 last season. So they now have my attention. So if you're a SFS, you now have my attention. I look forward to next week's matches, which are potential knockout matches or potential tying 2-2-2 type bracket matches. So we're going to keep our eyes, guys.
All of them are knockouts. Someone's going to, next week, it's done. Someone's going to go home. The question is who? And
yep.
I think nobody could have predicted what's going on.
Yeah, the up-and-comers are surprising. We have a lot of people that were like last season, like Rose and Snow, that are coming out of the woodwork, surprising. Nobody in your mind could tell me that you saw SFS beating OV by 12,000 points. Like, guys, that's not just provisioning. That's dominating the map. That's one of those things that, OV provisions, all those kinds of things. So they had to have lost the middle. They had to have gotten dominated in some fashion. So if we get the cards for that, I'll share it with GEKKO or vice versa. It doesn't matter. All is love. But SFS coming out of the woodwork, they are our standout team. 411S, they're muddy in the water as well. They lost last week. Now PTOL and 411S are tied. There's potential for upsets there and being a 2-2-2-0 group as well. So we could see multiple groups next week that could potentially come down to tiebreakers, guys. So that's going to be, we're going to have to keep an eye so that these big margins of victory are going to come back to bite somebody in the rear if we do get ties. So keep that in mind, guys.
Next week, SFS goes up against none other than MCO, who have dropped the ball against 495K as well. MCO is essentially out of this season. MCO is completely out of this season. There is no way for them to get in here. Even if they win this match, SFS will be on 2, and then it'll be between 495K and OV, and then whoever of the 2 wins, that's how it'll go up. Essentially, SFS secured themselves a victory. SFS secured a placement in Group B into the top 16 today. And that is absolutely astonishing. And to make matters worse, MCO winning next match can potentially put OV in a huge, huge problem because it's a must win for them to get out. But the first team of the whole list, and I'm saying the first because it's Team B. If we go from A, B, C, so forth, the first one I actually see that 100% secured a placement in the playoffs is SFS.
All right,
The
so
next one looks like BBTH, by the way.
just real quick, I have somebody in chat, a Blaze. If you can send me that, send me. Can you send me the thing? So you remember how everyone keeps saying that HKL hasn't lost an Ark of Osiris since last season?
I saw that comment. Listen,
Okay.
I don't care for ARC matches, to be honest with you. I don't see any team, including myself, including the team that I play with, playing 100% serious during regular ARC. I think that I don't look at, if you tell me, I saw he said SFS beat HKL off of league. I understand, but SFS had a lot to prove in that match compared to HKL. I don't take a look at regular arcs as an indicator of how teams look like, because I can tell you that on my jumper, I go into farm level type of arcs, and I just have 5 marches running around the map, swarming buildings, taking them, and going to the. So I don't know if these guys are taking arc matches as serious.
I will say though that it reinforces the point. Like I would venture to say that HKL does a lot of experimenting on regular arcs, guys. So you have to take it kind of with a grain of salt. But I will say that by them beating OV the way that they're beating them, it makes it look a lot better than if you just, you're making a name for yourself, and that's ultimately what you want. SFS, hey, GG's, dude, congrats. Like, y'all have my attention now. Potentially securing next week, potentially securing the #1 in their group over OV would be absolutely, it would be bracket breaking type stuff. Like nobody and their mother saw SFS taking #1 on that one. So
Bulba,
what's up?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
No,
Please.
you're good.
Let's really quickly look at who made it out of here, because we have already to congratulate some teams. First of all, I want to add to what you said, Bulba. I am super impressed by SFS. Chat, don't sleep on SFS. Don't sleep on that kingdom. These guys came in to do work. Massive, massive, massive shout out to the first dark horse of 374, Kingdom 374, for making it out into the top 16. Honestly, I'm absolutely, like, if you see me on my stream right now, I'm absolutely pumped, because it tells me innovation is happening in the community. It tells me people are doing and trying and getting better. And it fuels my passion for Osiris League even further to see dark horses in the top 16. I mean, absolutely fantastic. On top of that, by the looks of it, both JWM and Raze have secured themselves a spot in the top 16. They play each other in the next match, and Correct. They're 2-2. They're fighting for who ends up first and second. In the group D, we have BBTH going up against Eve and Rose against Navi. So even if BBTH lose, then it's between Rose and Navi who makes it out. BBTH has secured their placement potentially between team first and second place. It's not 100% closed just yet, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that even 2-2 can potentially become 3-2, and then change the placements from first and second, and that changes where you're placed on the bracket.
Now keep in mind real quick, BBTH and Eve are from the same kingdom, guys. So keep that in mind. I think Eve has taken quite a punishment in Osiris League, so I have a feeling that it's going to be kind of a runaway, save face kind of game. But still being the second kingdom to have 3 alliances in the top 32 is quite an achievement. So keep that in mind, guys.
411K and SNO are going to fight each other out in the next match. It's fighting for first or second place in the brackets, but they both also secure a W out of here. You know who hasn't secured a W out of here just yet? My boys in UCS. They have 2 victories, but they have a problem. They go up against PTAL next time, and 411S goes up against 0096. If UCS win and 0096 win, there is a hypothetical world in which they can get out. But Group F is open for everybody to come in and cause some damage, because 411S and PTAL winning, UCS losing can cause a potential where the point differential is going to be a massive thing. This is why today's match was so important for UCS, because they won with 55,000 points in their favor. And that's going to work tremendously for the tiebreaker in here potentially. C9N and LIIG will be duking each other out for first and second place in their group. Congrats to both teams. Shout out to my man Send. He keeps doing this. He keeps sending it every single season. The man keeps sending it into top 16 every single freaking season with C9N. And finally, HKL against SX54 to save face more than anything else for SX54. HKL have secured their way out, and the question is squad or TN. And that's how it's looking like.
That will break. Well, I'll definitely be breaking all those down on our breakdown and preview stream later on in a couple of days. But I can tell you right now, there are some juicy matches that are going to be coming next week. Some heartbreakers similar today. And I'm excited for it. You know, it's one of those things like SX fell on, you know, they lost, but they have potential to upset some people. I don't think they're going to beat HKL. Don't get me wrong. But TN between TN and 1341, that's going to be a doozy. That's like a win or go home type match. It's going to be an absolute bloodfest. LIIG versus C9N. That's one of those like top 16 potential type matches that you're getting in top 32 for who's going to take group, you know, and it's one of those matches that you have to keep your eyes on because the difference in first and second place is so huge that a lot of people don't understand that. So to give you all a perfect example, leading out of this stream, when 1AVG lost to 1008, what essentially happened is they went from being on the easier side of the bracket, if you can even say that, to ending up potentially having to face off against HKL in the first match just because of one loss. So there is a massive difference between first and second. So it's something we're going to keep an eye on because win or lose, even if you make top 2, you're going to be fighting against some of the most dominant teams in the Osiris League. So you definitely want to be securing that number 1 spot if you can and put all into it because it does make a massive difference, guys. All right, GEKKO. It was fun, brother. You still here?
Yeah, no, you can't hear me. My bad, you can't hear me. I was muted. I was saying,
No.
well, before we leave, though, ladies and gentlemen, from my chat at least, just so you know, Bulba's been putting in the work, preview shows, analysis shows, and all that for Osiris League. Go make sure you check out his channel. I linked it in the chat right now. Smash a like on his stream and also on mine before you leave, though. Bulba, it's been a lot of fun, my man. Congrats on your road to 900 subs. You're almost there. You're almost there, homie. And hopefully we'll get to cast again maybe next week.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out the video thing, but we'll figure it out, guys. Don't you worry.
We're working on it. All right, my man. You have a great one, and I'll catch you later, probably.
All right, brother. Later on. Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, did y'all have a good time? Did y'all like that? Let me know. I know I couldn't play music and stuff like that, but that's because I don't want to get a copyright strike for GEKKO because he doesn't have. I don't think he has what I have. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're gonna call it a stream, guys. We've been streaming for an hour and a half. I want a little break before our last match. Go spend a little time with the wife and make sure she's doing okay. But hopefully y'all enjoyed the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the stream. I know I did. It was an absolute barn burner, like we said it was. Unfortunately, the bet that we put for SX54 did not plan out. Congrats to those of y'all who bet against OV. Y'all won massive on that one. So, ladies and gentlemen, oh, here we go. We got some subs pouring in. New subscriber killer. Welcome to the Bulbaritos. You are now part of the sexiest community in Rise of Kingdoms, the Burrito Gang. Thank you so much. We got another one pouring in. V Dragon, welcome to the Bulbaritos, baby. Make sure y'all hop in our Discord if you haven't already. I think we're going to wrap it up. We'll probably give it like a minute or two, and then we're going to wrap it up. But before I wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen, I hope y'all enjoyed the dual cast. We did try to get it to where the videos would work, and we just ran out of time. So we are going to try to work it out, work out the kinks. I hope y'all enjoyed the back and forth between GEKKO and I. I do enjoy this kind of stuff and collaborating. He's an awesome dude and building up amazing content. So if you haven't already, make sure you go check him out. If you don't know who he is, what rock are you living under? I will make sure and add his link in our description below as well. So for those of y'all who are jumping in, make sure you smash that like button. It helps us out tremendously. And ladies and gentlemen, I am Anthony with the Bulbaritos, and I will see you all on the next live stream. Bulbaritos out.